Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast, and I just wanted to welcome you into the pirate community and enjoy another conversation with interesting people doing interesting things. And today we have Melissa. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, we were talking before the show, and I almost forgot to turn on the show. It's like, okay, well, you know, let's just keep going, having a wonderful conversation. And what we were talking about is the differences in the cannabis industry and how it's evolved and it changed. And you went from cosmetics to cannabis in a new, unique way. And I want to kind of explore that a little bit and discuss how there are different areas of cannabis and what that actually entails. Because, you know, some people just think it is one thing and it's more than one thing. And so let's dive into it and find out a little bit more about what area of cannabis you're working on and some of your backstory about coming from cosmetic industry and transitioning into what you're doing now.
Okay. So 5 years ago, I was actually laid off for the second time from my big corporate job. I was a vice president of education and training at L'Oreal for my fifth brand, I think. I represented multiple brands. Usually it was dermatological skincare, but this time it was makeup. So I had to figure out what to do. And I had to deal with some medical things. So I had a surgery, I was recovering. And I kind of fell into the cannabis industry. A friend of mine called me up, who's now my business partner, Valerie, and said, "You have to come with me to check out this company." She goes, "It's cannabis." And I went, "Well, okay, I'm in California. You know, I get it. I have a medical marijuana card. I'm dealing with a lot of issues with my body. So I've tried it. But I didn't understand that there were multiple ways to do it, that there were different sources and two sides." So I went and I started this journey of learning about what it is. So cannabis has hemp and marijuana. And I think, you know, we're most familiar with marijuana. And maybe we've heard about the psychoactive aspects of marijuana, and we have, you know, maybe this culture associated with it, but it's so medicinal for so many people. It just comes with that little, you know, something attached to it for some people. And I realized that the stigma really wasn't necessary, because the other side is hemp, and it has the same amazing little molecules, these cannabinoids and terpenes in it that the other plant, the marijuana plant, has, but it's not psychoactive and it can be explored. People think it's just rope, you know, it was just used in the war. It was, you know, Betsy Ross made the first flag out of hemp, and there's all these stories about hemp, and it's amazing. There was even a little film called Hemp for Victory that was pro hemp, you know, for the war, before it kind of went downhill and got lumped in with the evil marijuana, you know. So yes, I definitely went on a journey of discovery and learned a lot about CBD. And there's over 120 other cannabinoids that are in the plant that all work kind of synergistically together. And I had a profound experience myself. Crazy. In 3 months, like, my life was changed. And I thought, okay, I have to talk about this. I guess this is what I've been selected to do now, you know, that I'm shifting into this new world, this new life. So it started a journey, and that was 5 years ago.
That's interesting that, you know, and what we were saying before the show was this hemp was a huge industry at one point in time, and the opportunity to actually take a sustainable product that you could continue to grow, harvest, and create products from is a huge upside. And a lot of people, when it came to the psychoactive side, you know, it fell off the roadmap because of the association with that. And I think a lot of people are learning how to understand becoming more aware of the other advantages of hemp and some of the properties and the principles that you can, develop products from. And
Yes.
like everyday products that we use all the time. And I equated it to bamboo and how bamboo grows quickly. It's almost like grass. It continues to grow, and then you can take that product and make other products out of it. And I think that
Yes, absolutely.
the same thing holds true with marijuana and hemp. And so now you're in an industry, you're taking the years that you used in cosmetics industry and then converting it to cannabis. And what are some surprising events that you've discovered along your journey about people's attitudes and the educational process? What's the first response people think about when
Well, 5
they
years ago, living in suburbia, with a young son in elementary school, I was
uh-huh.
like, mommy's a drug dealer in the neighborhood or something, which is totally ridiculous. And I think some people were open-minded enough in my community to ask and to invite me to do little talks, with groups of people who really, their kids needed help. They had learning disabilities or they had different challenges with just dealing with daily life. And they were curious and they were wondering. So certain people opened up. But yes, of course, I was judged and I had to overcome what other people thought. I had to not care what other people thought because I knew so much from a scientific level. When I realized that our government had a patent on CBD as a neuroprotectant and an antioxidant to deal with inflammation and all kinds of things in our body, I realized at that point that this is real. This is something our government realizes, and they're pretty much keeping it from us, let's face it. So it takes people like me and all of my colleagues one at a time to talk to people and address it. So yes, I had to overcome that. Now today, it's awesome. More people know about it. More people are open. There are still people that are scared. And, we have a product that's actually in the physician's desk reference. It's in the prescriber's digital reference now. A doctor can
Mm,
look it up on their app. And we're the only CBD product in there. So that comes with a trust factor, like an extra validation. And I
yeah.
find that people take comfort in that when they're giving it to their dogs and their kids and their elderly parents and veterans, whoever it is, they
Yeah.
need to feel safe. Safety is key when it comes to misnomers with cannabis.
It's interesting that the desk reference is the authority in our community. And I see CBD oil, I see CBD signs out here in Arizona, all over. And my mom's taking it, and she's 84, and like
Awesome.
for different like CBD oil and just it's really universal in a lot of ways. So
Mm.
it's more common and people are more open to it. And it's like, okay, well, now the curiosity starts. It's like, well, let's find out a little bit more about how to use it and what it's used for, and
Yeah,
how do we start thinking about using it instead of a drug, not
exactly.
necessarily drugs. And it's like, holy cow, I'm sitting here in Arizona, and every time the TV is on, she's watching TV or something. It's like pharmaceutical company after pharmaceutical company after pharmaceutical company. It's just like, how
Oh
many?
yeah, with all these little fine print things, may cause, may cause, may cause, and you're
Yeah, the
like,
side
what?
effects are horrible.
Oh
It's
my
like, I don't want any of
gosh.
that. I
It's
don't want any of
scary.
that. Yeah.
I know.
So with it being more common and
Mm.
more open and everything, are they creating more products? Is Kannaway creating more products and services that are
Oh
associated with
yeah.
CBD?
Totally, totally. And even exploring other cannabinoids, I think, you do see it everywhere. So the important thing to remember is that you have to make sure you're getting what you think you're getting, because it's a green rush. Everybody's in it also to make a buck. So you have to
Sure.
find a company that's reputable, that has their own source of hemp. You can't just grow hemp anywhere. True industrial hemp looks like bamboo. It's taller than all of us, and it can only grow in certain climates, and you need huge areas of land to grow it. But it's a bioremediator. So what that means is hemp will absorb anything that's in the soil it's growing in. So it could be absorbing toxins and pesticides and herbicides and all kinds of chemical fertilizers that were there before. And so you have to know your source. So we always talk about know your soil, know your oil, and make sure that it's been tested and it's a good quality product. Some people get something that's super cheap from the gas station, and you just don't know what's in that. You can't trust that. You know, you're
Right.
trying to introduce something good to your body. So what Kannaway does is invest in all of the research. You know, we own our own farms. We do our research. We have a lot of different partnerships with biotech companies that look at phytomedicine and how the plant actually works. So recently, we just launched our first CBN product, which is a sleep aid. We know people have a ton of problems with sleep,
Yeah.
especially now during the pandemic with a lot of stress and anxiety that is pervading around us. So CBN is a cannabinoid like CBD, but it is the sleepy cannabinoid. And it's not regulated like CBD is. It's something that people are replacing different other solutions they're using for sleep and having great success. So that's part of the innovation. We're looking at all the hemp plant in terms of all of its uses and what the future could be.
Well, don't you find it ironic that hemp has been around for centuries and been used to grow and develop, like you said, rope, flags, fabric, products
Yeah.
and services, and now we're still discovering more about the plant,
That's
because
right. That's right.
I
It's
think it's
fascinating.
yeah, I think it's fascinating that we can still, discover some of the principles and properties of a plant after having used it for so many years, and that's science, that's science at work, and figuring out, okay, well, this is what it's been used for, and what are some other uses that we can use and develop from it. And
Yeah.
it
And being
and I love that
open-minded.
it's natural too.
Yes, yes. It was put here, right, for us to use. It's like, think of all the herbs and the plants.
Mhm.
One of the people that I talk to a lot about, Eastern philosophy and herbology and what plants do, said when they went to, their training for acupuncture, excuse
Mhm.
me, and Oriental medicine, they put a hemp seed in your hand and they say, this is one of the 50 fundamental herbs in traditional Chinese medicine. It is
Mhm.
to do good. And so when hemp is combined with some other botanicals, they have a synergy together. So
Yeah.
we do use a lot of other herbs as well in our formulas for nutrition, for wellness, for immunity, for all kinds of things that we're all concerned about. And that's just going to the source of plants.
Yeah.
It's an amazing science.
I've talked to a lot of people that believe that everything we need is, growing around us, and it's just the combination of different botanicals and herbs and different plants can actually create exactly what we need, and not necessarily, anything from the lab. And it's kind of think, well, I don't, what's the combination? Because some plants are
Oh,
toxic,
yeah.
so
Poison ivy is a good example.
yeah. It's
You
like,
need to
I don't
avoid certain
necessarily want to eat that. I don't want to apply it to my skin. So we
I
have to be
know.
cautious about it. But
Yes.
there's so many things that we don't know. And when people decide that they know everything, it's it's like run. Just run.
Yeah. We never stop learning. I swear
Yeah.
every day I learn something new about this industry from another person. And even the business of this. Everybody thinks that to be in this business of hemp, you have to be a certain demographic or you have to have a certain background. And, there are people that are scientists and there are people that are figuring out all of the things that we just talked about in doing the research. But then there's people like me who do this for a living. But what I do is I just share this with people every day. I
Yeah.
educate people. I help them understand how they can come into a business like this too. Sitting at home, we work from home while our kids are homeschooling around us, and
Yeah.
other people are working around us, and just between life. And it's actually possible. It's fascinating helping people do that every day. That's what really gets me up in the morning.
That's absolutely true. Hey, I want to shout out a couple of people in the community here. Howard popped in. We're talking about Howard. Even CBD and toothpaste and mouthwash can help with gum irritation and more serious periodontal issues, gum and bone loss. That is
Yes.
absolutely true. You know, there are properties that and he goes on to say, that is the industrial problem. The consumer is confused with so many inferior options and does not know how or who to trust. And I think that
Totally.
can go back to the source that it's, you know, like you mentioned, you know, it's somebody producing oil in their backyard for the corner drugstore, not the drugstore, but the gas station. You know, and
Yep.
it's one of those things that we still have a way to go. And obviously, you know, like in the cosmetic industry has evolved over years and decades. And, you know, there's a lot of regulations and things that it had to go through as well to get to the point where it is, and people trust it
Yeah,
and everything that goes on with
absolutely.
it.
And
I
that's
want
what I had to do too. I had to bring that in. Yep.
Yeah. Darlene's here. A couple of pirates are in the house. Yes, working but listening. Thank you so much. Another pirate, Matt, Mohawk, Denny. Great conversation. Angie, she's here. Good morning, pirates. Thank you so much. Bamboo is amazing. Sustainability, eco-friendly. Think green. I love that. Pablo says,
Yes.
sorry for being late. Clients taking my time. Hello, everybody.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Tapas, good morning. How are you doing? I appreciate you. And Hyatt Ives is here from Houston. Good morning, pirates. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a great week. What is the name again for sleep aid?
It is called CBN, so like CBD, but instead of the D, it's N, and it's short for cannabinol. So Kannaway CBN is just a little tincture, and you put a little dropper full under your tongue about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour before you want to go to sleep. And it's funny because CBN has been researched, but it's kind of a lesser known cannabinoid. It actually traditionally comes from when THC, the psychoactive cannabinoid, degrades. So back in the day, people would find an old stash of some marijuana, and if they did, partake in it, they would get super sleepy. And, it couldn't be separated from the psychoactive part before. We now know how to isolate CBN by itself so that it's not psychoactive, but it is now a viable sleep aid. So it's fascinating how far we've come with that. And that's just the latest innovation we've had. So exciting.
Oh, fantastic. Good to know. Good to know. Well, and guess who's on?
Hey,
Kelly
Kelly.
saying hi from the Big Apple. Hi, Russ and Melissa. Melissa introduced me to Kannaway in 2019. The Bebong formula of skincare line is everything. Hemp heals. Thank
Yes,
you so much.
yes.
And then
Awesome skincare.
Sherry, CBN produced in the controlled lab, even if not regulated.
Absolutely. It's really important. We have our own labs, GMP certified, clean rooms. We also, everybody has to have third-party lab testing, but we also do a triple lab testing process with our hemp before it is even entered into a product. So it's tested at the point when it's growing, when it's after it's harvested, and then before the finished product is released. So yes, all of our products are registered and approved. And that's important because whenever we launch a new country, some people try to go into countries with CBD products or other products, and they're not allowed. And we make sure that everything is registered and it's legitimate because of the testing. We're even US Hemp Authority certified. So they in addition, test our products over and above what we do and give it that extra something that people need for the reassurance. That's important to me. I give these products to my son, and I've been giving them to him for 5 years. He's 12 now. And it's important for me as a mom to pick a very safe product. So I did a ton of research before I chose, and that's why I aligned with Kannaway.
Yeah, it's and as with anything, do your research and know what's right for you. And there's, it's not for everyone. And it's, just like anything else, it's like, okay, I'm, lactose intolerant. It's just like, it's really about the research and studying what works for yourself, what works for your body, and everybody's a little bit different, and so how do people learn more about what are some good resources, Melissa, to understand and appreciate what's going on in the world today with CBD and the industry?
Absolutely. I know, on our websites and my personal website, we have some information that you can learn about the history and just the basic facts. But if you're looking for more medical research by conditions I'm not a doctor. I don't make any medical claims. I just share information. And we have this amazing website called echoconnection.org. And I can send that to you to put out for your viewers. It's great because they're a nonprofit organization that helps families who need cannabinoid therapies for their drug-resistant children who have intractable diseases. And we donate money and support and cannabinoids to them. So they publish all of the white papers from PubMed.gov. And it's amazing. You can type in a condition and you can look up all the research that's behind it when it comes to cannabinoid science. That's my go-to instead of just Googling, because this whole sea of stuff comes up. Some people write private articles and they're really only trying to promote their product. So you have to be very careful what you find on the internet too. I'm definitely finding, medical-based, science-based facts about what you're looking for. Very important.
Very important. And what's that site again? Echo?
It's called echoconnection.org. I can type it into the chat too if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's a fantastic resource, just because there's no products being sold. There's no agenda. The agenda is education and support. I mean, I donate to this organization because of the incredible work they do. Especially right now, Giving Tuesday is coming up. So I'm definitely going to support echoconnection.org. I've met a lot of these families and their children and how they rely on cannabinoids. There's actually kids that rely on the things that we kind of take for granted every single day, that we could just walk into a store and buy, or call somebody up like me and buy. And some people have to have it to get through the day.
Well, and I think that we're going to find more and more of this as the industry matures and more products are discovered and developed. And just like I was surprised with Howard's product, oral, and the mouthwash and the toothpaste and the breath spray. It's a great product. I love the product, and the way they package it up is top shelf, and it's just an amazing product. And it's like, why not?
I know. Think about it. It's inflammation. So anything that's caused by inflammation, the dental industry is perfect for it. Think about the cosmetic dermatological industry. Think about just about anything that's bugging you. It's caused normally from inflammation, some kind of inflammatory response of your body. Even health and fitness, weight loss and metabolism and all kinds of things that we're dealing with, our ability to feel satiated after we eat. Everything is run by the system in our bodies called the endocannabinoid system. That is something to research. It's this whole control center of our body. It's our body's largest self-regulatory system. And guess what turns it on? Cannabinoids. So it
Go
makes so
figure.
much sense. I know. And you can find cannabinoids in other things. Why do we like craft beer? Why is that such a big industry in this country? Well, hops also have some cannabinoids in them. Flax,
Interesting.
echinacea, herbs, and hemp has the most, the cannabis plant has the most cannabinoids of all of those things, but
Huh.
they're all turning the system on and
It's
helping
not
our body have
necessarily
balance.
it's not just hemp, it's other plants do in fact have this. So,
Yeah, some herbs and some plants, they have a little bit, so I think if you have all of those things, the entourage effect is this thing we hear about, and it's
uh-huh,
about all these things working in synergy to create balance in your body so that you can behave normally, a properly functioning system. It's
that's
good.
fascinating. That's fascinating. And see, not being involved in the industry and understanding all these details, uh, limits our understanding of what the potential and the possibilities are. And so if you've had this experience and you've really needed to, inflammation is so I mean, there's a lot of things that cause inflammation, and if you've suffered from any kind of inflammation anywhere in your body, it's like it can be dramatic and really painful, and
Yes.
a lot of people suffer from it. So
Yes,
anything that
they
we can do
do.
to attempt to reduce that and minimize that would be phenomenal. Plus, the
Yep.
sleep aid, I know Melanie would be willing and able to evaluate that and try that for better sleep. So
Yep.
so many people are searching for an answer, and so how do people get a hold of you, or your products and services, and what's the process, and how do you operate, and tell us a little bit more about that side of the equation.
Yeah, so I have a website. It's cannawoman.com with a K.
Okay.
And I think you guys have that website so you can put it up for people. But cannawoman.com just is the website where you can go and look at the various assortments. But needing advice for selecting, there's so many options because everybody does their hemp differently. It's all about lifestyles. Some people like capsules, some people like liquids pouring into their smoothies or their coffee.
Yeah.
Some people like to take a protein shake and have hemp in it. There's some people like to wash their face with, CBD enriched products, which is amazing. The skincare is incredible. So I give advice. I do Zoom webinars, I take phone calls, and I help walk people through what's important to them and what they're really looking for. And then customize a program based on what they're willing to do. There's some products that take a little extra work
Yeah.
to, use them and make sure that you're using them properly. And some products are just so simple. You just pop a capsule and you're on the go. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways to use them that you need advice,
Yeah.
when to take it. What if you're taking medicine? What do you do? And should I take it with food or not? So I just help people navigate
Yeah.
that whole process and make it simple.
And by the way, everyone that's watching this either now or in the future, you can go to russjohns.com/pirate broadcast. There's right on this homepage, you can access the replay, the transcription, the links, everything about it. And one thing I want to ask in a favor for you is the idea that I'm expanding on the YouTube channel. I want to expand my YouTube channel. There's some recent changes there that motivate me to change, and I'd love to have you after the show go over on YouTube and go to Russ Johns and subscribe, please, because it really helps me and it helps support the channel and everything that we're doing here and sharing interesting people doing interesting things. And I want to continue to support people like Melissa and the subjects and the topics we're talking about every single day. So little PSA for me to help out and everything that's going on there. So
Awesome.
and give us the website again, Can a Woman.
Cannawoman.com. And I'll
Okay.
type that in too. I also have a website, a personal website, where there's a little education and some, business information about what I do. It's
Sure.
just my name, melissatempleagusta.com, without the hyphen. And I know my name is long, but take a screenshot.
Uh-huh.
And there you go. So yes, you can find information wherever you go. And then my contact information is there. My email address is also melissatempleagusta@gmail.com, without the hyphen. And I'm happy. I talk to people all day long about doing this as a business, finding products for their family, whatever it is, that's important to them.
Fantastic. Oh, here's someone that I haven't seen for a while. Rex Powers. He's a advocate for the industry. It is critical to keep in mind that this is still an unregulated industry that operates without any mandated standards. We are aggressively working to launch a cannabis hemp industry employers association.
Yes.
And it's
go
really,
ahead.
I was just going to say, that's why I encourage people to do your own research, test and evaluate what works for you. And, by no means are we intending to pursue any kind of claims that are beyond what is already advertised and produced out in the world right now. But
it's so true. There's so many people making claims that are not allowed, that are not compliant. And Kannaway was the category creator. The parent company of Kannaway was the first company to legally import hemp into America before the Farm Bill even allowed people to grow hemp here. And they created the industry standards of testing. Then everybody else started to follow, because we knew if we wanted to have a large scale business like we envisioned, we had to really set the tone. And being a professional company in an unprofessional space at the time was all about setting that standard. Until cannabis is federally legal in America, each country has its different categorizations. Sure. Like in Europe, it's a food. In certain countries, it's a supplement or whatever it might be. And here, we have to operate within the law. We have to have our own standards that will happen when things are federally looked at. A lot of the bad companies will go away when things are federally legalized, because they won't be able to operate with what they have, a substandard perhaps, or dangerous in some cases product. Metals have been found in products like mercury, or guess what? There just might be no CBD in there. It could just be oil. You remember the snake oil of the day? It's not a joke. Like, it really can exist. There's been a lot of people who've done tests on, they take 50 products and they test it to see if what the bottle claims is really in there. And it's pretty shocking. Yeah. Pretty shocking. See the lab reports. Whatever product you get, make sure you can get lab reports that prove what's inside the product. That's so important.
Well, and Rex says, great session and great information. And then he goes on to say, Kannaway has always been an industry innovator, and Stuart has built a tremendous team. So
wonderful.
Obviously, we have some awareness out there in the pirate community. And I thank you so much, Melissa, for being here today. It's just a pleasure to continue to educate and inform people about interesting topics like this. And I just encourage everyone, just understand that there's options out there for you. There's some things that you may not be aware of yet. And I want to bring them to your attention and continue to pursue a great day. And because you know what? Kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And Melissa, thank you so much for being here, and look forward to a happy Thanksgiving here in the U.S. And if you're elsewhere, just wish you the very best week in the world. So thank you again.
You too. Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone. Enjoy the day. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.